the South African market, has it been a tougher nut to crack than Neotel and your majority shareholder Tata expected when they first entered this market?
The South African market is still quite large. It's about a 45 billion rand fixed market, or the overall size of the telecommunication industry is about 160 billion if you include mobility as well. So the market is quite attractive, and it's certainly growing, and it continues to grow at about a 4% compounded annual growth rate year on year. So that presents an interesting opportunity for any service provider, more so for Neotel. The bigger challenges we have is obviously starting from scratch a little less than 4 years ago, and then starting from scratch and building the business to where it is today.
And has it been more difficult entering this market than you would have expected 4 years ago?
The market has evolved and it's changed from the time that the license was awarded and the incremental WAN licenses awarded to other service providers in the market. The demands of the customers have also changed as the global arena continues to force enterprises and consumer customers to look at technology and the advancement of that. So we try to adapt ourselves to this change and ensuring that we have the right mix of products and services that can cater to that growth demand. But you'll never get it perfectly right, and you continue to evolve and adapt. And the key thing for us is to continue to adapt our business with the changing markets, one, competitive nature, but also the landscape of the demands of the customers.
So what are some of the strategies you are changing as we speak to try and get the share you would like of the South African fixed line market?
Well, at Neotel, we inspire possibilities. And a lot of that means is that our purpose of coming into Neotel, into the South Africa market, was bringing competition for sure in the local market, but also bringing innovation and world-class products and services that we can bring to bear for the local customers here to leverage to enable their businesses to grow. So if you put it in the context of where our vision is to be a partner of choice, enabling a new world of communication and services, and delivering excellence and adding value to, or creating value for our constituents, which is our customers, our people, and our partnerships.
Of course, this all takes a lot of investments, and at one point your shareholders would like to see some profits coming out from this investment. Now, in your last financial year, which was to March last year, you had an increased loss of 1 billion rand. I know you're busy finalising accounts, which go through to your parent company now. Are things turning around for you?
Well, the entire team at Neotel is fully committed and passionate people that we have in the business to see this company grow and take the market position that's rightfully ours. But in that context, we have invested over 3.5 billion rand of infrastructure within South Africa in the past 4 and a bit years. And during that, the telco industry is such, and the services industry is such, that we do need to make investments in the ground, be it in fiber. And we now have over 6,700 route kilometers of fiber laid within South Africa itself. But we're also, through that, connecting South Africa through the 5 submarine cable systems that are touching 4 already, 1 to come, and connecting South Africa to the world. And that is the capability on the infrastructure that Neotel brings to the domestic market here. And leveraging that infrastructure and putting products and services that will enable our customers to leverage these capabilities and hence grow.
And when do we see the return on investment?
Our aim is to become profitable, EBITDA positive this year. And therefore, one of the key focuses is to continue to grow on our top line this year. Last year alone, we grew over 30% year on year on the top line. The investments that we've made obviously requires us to also have a focus on our costs in the business. And the focus in both of these areas, one, to ensure that we're continuing to grow in the domestic market, and we'd like to thank our customers profusely for the support they've given Neotel in the preceding years, but look forward to the continuous support to our business to help us grow in the market as well.
When you say EBITDA positive this year, you mean the 2012 financial year, so
Correct.
the year to March next year?
That's right.
I mean, how do you differentiate yourself from Telkom? Now, what makes you stand out? Because if somebody's getting a fixed line, why would they choose Neotel over Telkom? Is it just pricing? Is it service? What is it?
It's competition, and we have some formidable competitors in the local market, and that's great to have because it keeps everybody on their toes. But what we've built is a fiber infrastructure, and fiber infrastructure enables IP and IP convergence that enables voice, video, and data within the same infrastructure, thereby creating a lot of possibilities for customers to leverage new age technologies for their business. And I can give a few examples of how innovation in technology enables South Africa to be able to leverage such technologies here. But when we look at what business we're in, we often define ourselves and Neotel is in the business of connecting people and enterprises within South Africa to themselves and connecting South Africa to the world, developed and emerging, to enable commerce. So with that, it's not just telecommunications, it's telecommunications plus a suite of managed services that we bring to bear. And some of these services are world-class and leading services. For example, telepresence as a technology which enables high-end collaboration, immersive room experience, more than what video conferencing can do. What we've done is we were the first service provider in South Africa to launch a public room for telepresence right in our Midrand office. And that connects to 32 other public rooms around the world. So, for example, now if we're experiencing delays due to flights due to the ash cloud in Europe, but business must continue. So we have the ability to ensure that business meetings are conducted in a almost live fashion from Midrand itself, but connected to public rooms in either Frankfurt or Lille or Amsterdam or Brussels or even London for that matter, or to Australia at one end to the west coast of the US at the other end. These technologies we bring to the customers here to enable them to get connected to the world and enable commerce for their own businesses to function, regardless of time differences or travel time that otherwise makes people a bit more unproductive.
Well, then tell us how many customers are signing up for these services. How are you growing your customer base, your corporate customer base, but also retail customers as well?
Our aim this year is to grow our business-to-business presence by 30% year on year. And on the consumer side, we're looking at about a 50% growth year on year from last year. So what that basically means is that we will be aggressively going off to the market and explaining to them and sharing with them the services that we have rolled out so they can leverage it. The whole advantage about a public telepresence room is that our customers do not need to invest hundreds of thousands of US dollars in a room for themselves. They actually have a public facility to go down to and pay a fraction of the cost. And then over time, they can see whether that really makes sense for their business for them to invest in themselves or leverage a public infrastructure. So really bringing down the hurdle rate, but allowing businesses to leverage these later technologies to their benefit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, numbers, can you give us numbers of how many business customers you have who are using these fantastic things?
Well, right now, as a business customer that uses it, they start using it more and more. So it's about the convergence from trying to tell people, flying is an option, but you also have a telepresence. We've had about pretty close to about 100 customers go through the public telepresence room, first to experience it, and then to sit and apply that, how would that work for my business and how to leverage it.
How about pricing? I mean, do you have to come in with lower prices than your competitors? And of course, it's not just telecom, it's all of the cell phone operators and everything else, because we come through a very tough economic climate. Yes. And people are cutting back on costs. And I should imagine telephony is one of those costs they might cut back on.
Certainly it is. And there are two parts of it. One is the voice cost and the second is the data costs. I think in both of these, what we look at is we aim to price ourselves competitively in the marketplace, but also deliver value for our customers. On the pure play consumer cost for communicating, talking on basic voice, we have passed on the interconnect rate drops that occurred in March to the consumer customers. And so therefore our offerings are pretty sure are very competitive for the consumers in the marketplace, thereby allowing them to benefit by lower cost structures. But on the data side of the business, it's not just cost. It's about the whole business runs on a data infrastructure. Our value proposition is to enable enterprises to grow domestically by virtue of the fiber infrastructure that we've built, but also to connect them to the rest of the world. We're the only service provider that actually provides diverse connectivity out of South Africa through all 5 submarine cable systems, but then link that to our parent shareholder, telecommunications, to a global infrastructure of submarine cable systems, then by being the world's largest owner-operator of submarine cable systems, providing seamless connectivity to all major economies across Neotel as well as telecommunications.